So if you grow plants, especially plants that are not native to your area, there are going to be some things that you need to understand about plants. And the first one is going to be, is your plant frost sensitive or cold sensitive? So this plant right here is a guava plant. In my area, this plant is frost sensitive. If you want to know more about this plant, I actually have a how-to video you can check out where I tell you everything you need to know. But what is frost protection? Frost protection is simply covering your plant so the ice doesn't touch it. Most of these frost sensitive plants, they can take low temperatures as long as the ice does not touch them. So you need to cover them. Very easy to do, just cover your plant and you are good to go. The next one is going to be cold sensitivity. There are a lot of plants out there that are going to be cold sensitive. What is the difference? Well, unlike frost protection, like this Jamaican cherry tree here, this one right here is cold sensitive. So this one, in order to protect it, you got to change the ambient temperature around the tree to protect it. You cannot just throw a cover over it and then expect it to survive the winter, because underneath that cover is going to be cold. How cold is too cold? Well, for most of these plants right here, it depends. Plants are living beings just like you and I, so every plant's going to be a little different. But this one right here, once it starts dropping below freezing, every plant's different. They can take it for a couple hours, but if it's too long, they are going to start taking damage. So in order to protect this plant right here, you need to change the ambient temperature around it. And if you don't, you're going to kill it. If you want to learn more about cold protection, I got videos on it where I actually show you how I cold protect my plants. But just to give you a quick summary, this one right here either needs to go into a heated greenhouse, or if you have one in the ground, you got to build a structure like a greenhouse, and you may have to put a heater in there. A lot of people ask, how long do you have to do this for? Is it just for a few years until the plant gets older? And my answer every single time is, do you wear a jacket every single winter? So just because your plant gets older, it does not mean it's not going to need protection. Some plants can actually tolerate cold or frost a little better as they get older. But there are going to be many plants like this Jamaican cherry tree here that it doesn't matter how big it gets, it will take cold damage and it's going to die if you don't protect it. So those are the main two steps that you need to take before you get into winter. Or if you're into winter, you need to understand what plants you have and if they are frost or cold sensitive. So what else can you actually do to be proactive before the winter hits? And that is going to be, well, you need to identify what type of plants you actually have. Banana plants in my area are frost sensitive, but that's not the main killer of bananas. Banana plants hold water like a cactus. So banana plants, if you keep them wet in the winter time, what's usually going to happen is they are going to rot. And this is very common for plants that are not rooted in the ground. So if this plant stays wet like this in the winter time when it's cold, it's not growing anymore, the evaporation rate is a lot lower, so this stays wet a lot longer. This bottom stem of your banana plant is going to start getting squishy, trunk rot, and that is going to kill your banana. So identify which plants you have that hold water, and you need to decrease the water or you need to cut it off completely. Now these bananas here in the summer, they were getting watered daily. It's not summer anymore. Temperatures are a lot cooler. So these bananas here in the containers, to be honest, I water maybe like once every 2 to 3 weeks in the containers. From daily watering in the summer to once every 2 to 3 weeks. And when I water them, I don't want to soak them because it takes way too long for them to dry. So if your banana plants or your succulents or your cacti are taking like 2, 3, 4 weeks to dry in between watering, that is too long. So when you do water, what you need to do is don't soak the whole container. Just water one side and then let the other side dry, and that way you can prevent them from dying. That was banana plants in containers. So what about the ones in the ground like this one over here? Well, banana plants in my area, if they are in the ground, as soon as the night temperatures start hitting 60, 50 degrees, I cut the water off completely. I don't water this guy. I don't water them at all. Banana plants hold a lot of water, just like a cactus. Or if you have succulents, if you have cacti, it will be the same. You cut the water off completely if they are in the ground. I am in the desert, and we get enough rainfall for these bananas to be alive throughout the winter months. So if I get enough rainfall and you are watching me from any other state that is not a desert, guess what? you get a lot more rainfall than I do here. So you definitely should not be watering your succulents, banana plants, or any other plants that hold water, because they are going to rot in the winter time. So what else can you do to get ready for winter, to make your life a little easier and your plants' lives a little easier? Well, right now is the time. If it's not winter yet, you need to start buying your stuff. If you're looking for frost cloth, you need to go buy it right now. If you're looking for building materials to build a greenhouse, you need to go buy them right now, because the prices are going to be cheaper right now. You're looking for heaters, buy them before you actually need them, because they're going to be a lot cheaper. In the winter time, if you wait until the last minute, not only are you going to be spending a lot more money, it's going to be a lot harder to actually find the stuff that you need, especially if you know it's going to freeze that night and you have not prepared at all. So what's something else that you can actually do to make your life easier in the winter time? Well, that's going to be your drip irrigation system. Unless you water your plants by hand, this is not going to apply to you, but if you have an automatic system, you need to change it. You need to adjust it. So this is what a timer looks like, and everybody's timer is going to be a little different, but a lot of timers actually have a feature that you can just turn a dial and adjust it for the winter time, so that way you don't have to worry about changing the times, changing how often, and all of that. So this one right here, you can click on budget, and then you see it says 100% there. So that's 100% for summer. Winter time, it depends on the timer, but I will probably go down to like 50%, 40%, even 20%, especially when it's super cold and you have rain. If you have rain, you definitely want to turn your system off. All timers are going to have an off feature. So if you have rain, unless your timer has a rain sensor that will shut it off automatically, you need to shut it off, because you don't need the water, because it's going to be wet. Now, if you're not getting rainfall, you can just adjust the budget, and then you can go from 100% to at least 50%. So changing the percentages, what's actually going to do for your drip irrigation system is, so let's say you were watering your trees for an hour, so you changed them to 50%. So, well, now instead of getting watered for an hour, it's going to be 30 minutes. So just keep that in mind when dealing with the percentages. But remember, watering is very easy to do during the winter months, because you really don't have to do that much. If you want to learn about watering in the winter time, go ahead and watch my video about watering your plants in the winter to learn more about it. So what's something else that you can actually do in the winter months to keep yourself busy? Because you like growing plants, you like planting, you like messing around with plants outside all day long. The temperatures are cooler, it feels really nice for you to be out there. But then, winter months are not going to be growing seasons, so most plants that you actually purchase in the winter are not going to grow. They are going to grow in the growing season when the night temperatures warm up. This is one of the main misconceptions people do not understand about plants. It is about the night temperatures, it is not about the day temperatures. It needs to be hot at night for most plants to grow. Winter months is going to be one of the best times of the year to actually get plant sales. Here at my nursery, during the winter months, or when I get close to winter, I put a lot of plants on sale, because I don't want to deal with them. I have a lot of them, I don't have enough space, greenhouse space, and I just want to move them out so I don't have to take care of them. So I'm willing to take a loss so I don't have to deal with them. Just like me, there are many nurseries out there that do the same thing. So if you want deals, go out to the nurseries during winter months. Look for the plant sales, and even if the plants are not on sale, most nurseries, if you ask, are willing to give you a discount on plants that look ugly in the winter. Like this plant right here. This is a stone fruit right here. This is a deciduous plant. So this plant will drop all its leaves in the winter time, and it's going to look dead. Most nurseries, especially the bigger ones, the workers have no idea what they are doing. So plants like this, even though it's normal for them to look ugly in the winter, you can ask for a discount, and guess what? Most nurseries are going to give you a discount. I will not, because I know what I have, but most bigger nurseries will. Other than that, those are some of the steps that you can actually take in order to be proactive to get ready for winter time. You can check what type of plants you have, frost sensitive, cold sensitive. You can check your watering system, lower your watering requirements, lower your watering times, and watch your plants. Remember, winter time is actually a time for you to take a break. because plants are usually not growing that much. You don't have to water that much. You don't have to do much of anything in the winter time unless you have cold sensitive plants. So as always, if you like this video, don't forget to like it. If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? And as always, I will see you next time.